And as always, I won't record.
Okay, who would like to remind us what happened last week?
Confusing caves.
2
Very
weeks ago.
confusing caves.
Yeah.
Yes, we made our way through the underground labyrinth, got confused, but managed to stumble upon a large frog toad-like creature.
That was more of a gargoyle.
Yeah, with wings. There were wings in there, as I recall.
There are some yowly demon puppies.
Zoe did Zoe things.
I will find a picture.
Notably, we cannot understand this individual.
Mm-hmm.
But Zoe is in the process of remedying that, I believe.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
Shake the booty.
I got a key.
Pert was the second person to interact with the creature because it seemed to be focusing on him and Zoe more than the others. And the creature led Pert over to a pile of things. And from the pile, the creature pulled out a book. And Pert used his key to open the book, and in a language that appeared...
You have it backwards, David. You had the book.
Oh, right. I had the book already, and the creature gave me the key. Wow, brains are weird. And in a language that appeared in the book and Pert was able to read, it required him to sign and I'm not going to say an NDA, but still sign an agreement. And then a wealth of information became available. But to Pert's horror, when he asked it the very first question, a page ashed to fire. Probably because he asked too powerful of a question.
Well, you asked a question, and then something showed up on the page, right?
Yep.
Come see me in my office.
Basically.
And then the page turned to ash.
That still makes Pert nervous.
Mm-hmm.
He just got this book and it's already down one page.
It is heavily implied that this whole area is Ogma's territory.
Not Ogma.
God damn it. I hate names in general.
Ayun.
Ayun. Which one is Ogma?
He's the
Neville's
dead
game.
one.
Ayun. Wait. Ogma was the one that Corwin had?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And now we know of this Ayun.
Yes.
That's somewhat new then, but we don't know that.
That's not to
weird.
cross your
No,
timelines.
and not necessarily. Multiple gods can have the same domain in different areas of the world.
Yeah,
Oh,
like...
Both, like, Pelor is a god of the sun. The one that Anik is a paladin of. Lathander is also a god of the sun.
Yeah, so you could have two gods of justice or two gods of trickery or two gods of wine.
That's not confusing. Go ahead.
Do you all see the picture?
Nope. Where?
Look in your journal. Does it say mysterious note?
Yes.
Yeah, it was somehow I imagined it.
Okay. Yeah, that's not quite
Yeah.
where I was.
So it's slightly more lion-like, but it's gargoyle mostly.
don't I see it?
Very
It
top?
is at the very top of the
Called
journal.
Mysterious Note because I couldn't
Serious
be
note.
bothered
Oh, okay.
to change the title.
Is blind.
Is blind.
You might want to pull those 3 things down into Pert's folder, Jamie.
Sure.
I'd been putting it off because it didn't matter, but
Okay.
is a good serious note.
That was all the important that happened 2 weeks ago?
I mean, we fought some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we ended with Zoe not having cast the spell yet.
In the middle of casting it, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just give me 1 sec here. Just adjusting everybody's Discord volume.
Oh, that fun process.
Fun.
Yeah. It needs to go up. Okay. So is there anything anybody wants to do while Zoe is finishing up her spell?
Can I just have a look around, maybe without moving, but just taking in the surroundings? Does it look like this creature lives or has lived here for a significant period of time? Or is this just, this creature is here because we are?
What kind of roll do you think this would be?
Probably perception or investigation.
Or nature.
Because you're looking for things like wear marks,
Yeah, give me an
dung
investigation
piles,
check.
etc.
Okay, yeah, that I'm fine with that. I just wanted to make it clear that I'm not being obvious about doing anything other than just looking around. Like, I don't want to turn over stuff or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I will say it's still investigation.
Sweet.
It is very hard to tell, other than the obvious, like, there's a little bookshelf, there's some blankets at the bottom. It doesn't seem to you that this creature would need blankets?
You said previously, Jamie, if I recall correctly, that everything was kind of designed for their size except of the books, right?
Yeah, the books they seem like more human-sized. This thing is quite big.
Does that include perhaps any bed in the area that these blankets might be for?
You do not see any, like, bed.
Okay.
I want to, while waiting, offer a good room.
Do?
To the big thingy.
No. You just hold it up?
Yeah, like, here you go. I'm hungry.
It's very still for a few moments. And then you see its nostrils flare. Like it's sniffing.
I put it like in front of his mouth. I don't know.
Don't you put it in your mouth.
I guess he opens his mouth.
I gave him a good room. Why is this so hard? I don't know. Like something bad's gonna happen.
Yes.
You don't see him chew. You think you see him swallow. He doesn't seem to react to it.
Okay. I look happy and leave it at that.
Okay. Zoe, you finished casting your spell. This is comprehend languages, correct?
Correct, which means she still can't she can't speak the language, but she can.
Understand it.
Yeah. And she looks at him and just says, "Hello."
I don't think it does anything.
It's responded to things before.
It takes a couple steps up towards you, and then settles down on its hind legs.
Pert finally looks up from the book towards Zoe and the creature, and then, looking to the creature, says, I think she has the ability to send you home if this is where you've been trapped, if this isn't your home. No clue if it'll understand or respond, but he has to try. It just did a huge help to him.
It moves its head towards you a little bit, Pert, when you talk, but it doesn't seem to react to what you're saying.
Fire start pantomiming like all what Bert says, and me through realize like, oh, they're blind.
So the light in here is a little better, and you can see now that it's right up close to you that there is a bit of a discolored spot on its torso. It looks a little bit like a wound that's, partially healed.
She steps forward and casts Cure Wounds on it.
It heals over a little more, looks a little less dark. And even though it's blind, it turns its head down to where you'd put your hand on it. And it puts his hand near the wound, just presses. And you can understand it as it says, "Thank you, little one."
Not little.
My dice? And it kind of pats the top of your head. Does comprehend languages allow you to know what language it's speaking?
For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language you can hear. You can also understand any language, written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface of which the words are written. It takes about 1 minute for each page of text. The spell doesn't decode secret messages in text or glyph, such as arcane sigils that isn't part of the written language.
So no.
That being said, Zoe can always just read any written can just always read any written language. Doesn't need to touch it.
You feel its very massive hand just pat your head gently.
Zoe feels patronized.
I mean, I'd like a patron that gives me head pets.
What does it say?
It's not really speaking. Wish we could make it speak what I was saying before again.
You tried other languages?
That makes sense.
I say hello in all the languages that I know.
What are the languages you know?
Giant, Common, Elven, and Druidic.
Nope.
Can you understand? Go ahead.
So he adds Celestial and Infernal on that.
And Draconic.
When you say hello in Infernal, it does react. It says you and then switches back to the other language and says you know Devil Tongue.
Unfortunately, I do, but I can speak the language you speak right now or I can understand the language you speak right now. I assume there's some way to tell the difference between the two.
Yeah, I would think so. Make an intelligence check. It says in the other language. I'll just tell you it's Abyssal.
We already knew it was Abyssal.
Yeah. It starts to stumble over its words a little bit. You think you might it is having a hard time keeping up with your sort of regular speech in Infernal. It might not understand Infernal very well.
I think Zoe does the American tourist thing and speaks slower.
Yeah.
No, the American tourist thing is just speak louder. Speaking slower might actually help.
It says, I speak small.
Pert
Well,
will
I don't speak your language at all, so you're doing a very good job. Magic is helping me translate, so I understand.
It nods like it understands the concept of the spell that you have cast. You are friends of I. And he points to the wall where all of these eyes have been drawn.
Who is the eye? Or is what is the eye a better question?
I think since you're talking in Infernal, Pert can understand that part of the conversation. And he'd comment quite quietly. I assume it's the same symbol as Ayun.
It nods. Ayun. The eye.
If you have any questions, Bert, ask and I will translate.
And Pert will walk over and both pantomime and try to use very simple language to ask it if it's trapped here or simply lives here.
Not stuck.
Is
New home.
New home. Do you miss old home?
No.
Okay. And Pert will pat it on the shoulder. We wouldn't want to put you somewhere you were uncomfortable. So if you're comfortable, that's what's important. Do you know name?
Name.
I'm Pert. What would you call yourself?
I do not.
That's okay.
Others call me Razor Blue.
How do you spell that?
He's typing. Are you also friends of Ayun? And Pert points to the eye symbol.
Yes. I try.
Pert smiles and kind of gestures with the book and the key and at the room. You've clearly done well to put together what you've managed in this cave. Bert kind of looks to the others. Any thoughts on other things we should be asking our new friend here? They seem to go by Frazzle Bloom.
You don't know that.
Oh, I thought you were translating.
Well, yes, but you're.
Zoe might want to keep some information.
No, not that. Just like. I feel like Bert's putting it out that only he's hearing this. I assume everyone's listening.
I didn't know if you were translating in Infernal so that way it knew what you were saying.
Let's just establish the ground rules of translation now so there's no questions. Can we assume that Zoe is speaking loudly so everyone can hear, and if she decides to keep something from us, Ty will inform us beforehand?
I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Yep.
You're still speaking to it in Infernal, though, correct?
Yes. So David, so Pert would understand everything Zoe's saying to it, but she's translating it back in common.
So everyone gets that half of the conversation. That's cool.
Zoe's more likely to keep secrets to herself, not just share it with Pert.
This is valid. So, if anyone else has a question that pops to the top of their head about what we should ask our new friend.
Ask him how is this his days doing? How's he feeling? Is he okay? Are they okay?
And Pert will give a small smile to Fire and turn back to the creature and say, "My friend with the mushrooms asks how your day is and whether or not you're hungry still."
Not hungry.
Is there anything you need
Nice.
in this
You
cave?
came.
Yes, we're just happy things worked out so well with you. I've been looking for this key for Jamie 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
For about 6 months now. Did Ioun trust you to guard it?
Yes. Friend gave to me. Said you would come.
What did he say? Does he want us to?
Remember that Ty is translating the majority of
Ah,
this
yes,
back in common.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
It sounds like they don't require large amounts of food, Fire, so that's actually on the list of questions. Pert realizes he isn't writing shit down and starts writing shit down. Before looking back up to both Zoe and then the creature. May we ask how you came to new home? Was it your choice or an accident?
Friend helped me.
Well, that's important. There's a lot of times when we've tried to help people, even if they didn't want our help.
Helped me find quiet place.
Do you wish to be left alone?
Your kind are difficult.
Well, that's an understatement.
Can confirm.
Do you know anything about the history of this cave system?
History?
The things that happened in the days before.
Ask him if I've seen anyone lately.
Before it was a cave.
The presence of certain artifacts suggests that it might have been once above the water, as an example. My friend asks if there's anything or anyone else you had seen since friend gave you key before we arrived. Did others come to pester you recently?
Your kind comes sometimes. There was one.
And Pert describes the very cute elf boy we met. Him?
Yes, before. They were scared.
I think they're
My magic scares you. Hurts you.
Unfortunately, many people are easily scared and easily hurt by things new, different, or strange. It's not your fault, but we appreciate you being careful. You do very well to take care of yourself. It is sad that others can't see your effort. Jamie.
It seems very confused.
Yeah, and I think I misphrased parts of that, but I think my general point was important.
It also says there was another.
Yeah, that's what I was
one.
going to ask. What could you say about the other? Was it the one that hurt your stomach?
Yes. Made big sound. Killed dogs. Dogs is like the closest thing that you can gather to the word that it said.
Makes sense.
And then it points to its eyes and said took eyes.
Oh, jeez.
I'm adding a question to the questions for the book, Jamie. What can unknown species demon eyes be used to make for magic? I think the phrasing would be list all known uses
We'll
for...
deal with that later.
Yeah. Anyways.
What are you?
Can you just put the spell in chat, please?
It is, if you scroll up a little bit.
Oh, is it? Here we go. The literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. So I'll give you, just for clarity, the term that it uses translates by your spell as Twisted One, but you also understand it to mean demon.
Okay, that leads to a question. Can anybody help remind me if the brain cannot remember name, if the guy we're after, who with the guy long gun,
Kiral?
Kral is part of the children. Part of
What?
the children?
Okay.
Ow.
Dahl is not. Dahl is an independent contractor. Ezra was a leader in the Children of Kiral. Kiral is the fallen, the almost demon god.
Okay, so he's just an independent contractor. So he did not, in his mind, hurt brethren. All right, thank you.
Pert will attempt to describe possible people that he thinks might have been the one that came. Namely, he'll attempt Dahl, and then he'll attempt the Black Azamar. The Fallen Azamar.
Sorry. A clarification, Jamie. He said demon, right?
Yes.
Did the creatures attacking Marilda were demons or devils?
Demons.
Okay.
David, he already described the individual that came through here as being very, very loud.
Like boom gun loud?
Yeah, which is why I thought it might be Dahl.
You already know he came this way.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was a chance that it was magic loud instead of gun loud, so that's
I don't think it would know the difference if it's blind.
Well, it's blind
It
now because
wasn't
its eyes
blind.
was
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, it said that Dal took their eyes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Quasta and Chamey, because this is actually a two-layered question. Did we ever make the potions of Regan from the Hydra Heart?
No,
Never.
haven't found someone with the skill to do it.
That's why I said we, because Pert does have the skill. Just have it. We never did it. I was like, I'm pretty sure we never did. I should ask.
Does Bear can, Jamie?
Can make the potion base, but the actual magic of like making the potions is like Pert doesn't have the ability to do that. Because I'm pretty sure we said you need the... Shit, what did I... Did I tell you you could make the potions without any magic and you could just literally cut up the Hydra heart?
See,
I don't think so.
yeah, that's where I don't know, because it was something we talked about like 9 months ago.
I'm pretty sure you need
Somebody to do
somebody to do the enchanting part of the potion making. But it's just going to be easier because you have the Hydra heart.
And Pert's good at the hand stuff to make the Hydra heart into.
You can make like the high quality potion base that you would need for something that powerful. But that is like a long-term project.
Yeah, and also doesn't help regenerate his eyes today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got 406 other really stupid minor questions that I don't want to bog the session down with. Does anyone else have anything that springs to mind as important and worth asking?
I do. I just need 4 minutes, folks, if that's okay.
No problem.
We're taking a small break.
I was going to say, do you want to take a small break? I'll go grab a hot chocolate.
Yeah, a small break.
Small break.
Think of your questions.
Hey, Nibbles, you still here?
Hello.
Did you see Linus's video on the van?
Doesn't sound familiar, no.
Okay, well, it doesn't really help if you haven't seen the video.
How recent was it?
Semi-recent. He was putting computers into his van.
The Ultimate Gaming Minivan? No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. The concept itself is dumb. I want the battery pack. Like, to the point I keep looking at it, ordering it online.
Sorry about that. I just had to make sure I filled a prescription.
That isn't.
Okay.
We are taking a couple-minute break.
David's making hot chocolate.
What would the equivalent of your truck be? Like a Type A RV, or would it just be something else?
In what? Oh,
For the, I'm just looking at the calculator.
I don't think there's a good answer for that, considering I like the idea of it just being very modular, which means I could rip it in and out of the truck very easily. So, the company decides to switch me trucks. It's just lift, move from one to the other. But the answer is between 500, either one or two of the 5K batteries.
Gotcha.
I think 3 of them would be overkill.
There's no kill like overkill.
Did you look at the price?
Yup.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's not happening at the moment.
Those are some expensive batteries.
That is slightly yes, but also not bad. Well, if I built the whole thing from scratch, I could probably do it for about $2,000, $3,000 for a 5K.
Oh, you mean like actually build the battery?
No, buy drop-in cells.
Yeah. I already don't
I
solder very much, and I sure as hell ain't soldering lithium-ion cells.
you ever seen how you have to solder lithium-ion batteries?
Yeah, I saw Linus build one.
Yeah, no, fuck that noise.
It's fucking terrifying.
You can, oddly enough, with a lot of those batteries, you can actually get away with different systems. Because a lot of them will come with screw tops in, and then you just like screw them in line, but then you still have to wire in your BMS. And fuck that noise.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of it just being plug cable and done. And then I can literally just steal the lines off my current inverter to plug into the alternator charger.
You would go with direct and not mess with solar?
Yeah, no. The thing is, my truck drives for 11 hours a day. That's like, you can charge it could charge those batteries in 5 hours of driving. 10 hours with 2 of them.
Alrighty, sorry about that. Back.
And I'm pretty sure 2 of them could last me a full 36 hours off.
Anyway.
Everybody back?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions for this guy?
What can you tell us about Kiral?
And Pert will translate
What
that.
is Carol?
Ancient, twisted one, I guess, would be the translation.
I am old, but there are older. Maybe the one at the bottom?
The bottom?
Yes, Pert would kind of raise an eyebrow if Zoe translates that back, and then ask what the bottom is if that gets translated.
the abyss.
Does that mean anything to me, or I assume any of us?
Yeah. I don't have the translation or what the prophecy that Shar and Selune gave us written down. I
Oh,
can't remember if it.
jeez. See if I can find it. I don't think we've ever heard the Abyss in world, though.
I don't think so either.
Kiral will walk the earth again, fallen god, father of hell. That's all I have written down.
One of you will something release him or whatnot with open arms. One of your companions, I think, was the wording.
I don't know why I have such bad memory.
This is why you take notes, says the person who doesn't take notes.
Yeah, I'm horrible at taking notes too.
I know I've got bad memory because I bought cheap RAM.
Get out.
It says maybe old one lives at the bottom.
And Pert,
I do not know it.
Pert will smile and attempt to pat its hand. There's a lot that people assume just because they're afraid of or confused by difference. Hopefully, if Old One is at the bottom, they're left alone to rest.
There is no rest in the abyss. And it pats your hand again and says, "Here there is rest."
Circling back around to that, have any of us heard anything about the Abyss? Or, I mean, I guess I just asked for myself, but is there any sort of general knowledge of its existence?
Make a religion check. You have this general sense of like demons coming from something called the abyss. You're not really sure how it differentiates from hell.
In history or his studies, would Pert have any other context than the religious angle?
Make a history check, but you're gonna have to roll real fucking high.
Yep. Not much high. Maybe
Yeah, the histories don't really talk much about hell or demons or devils or
yeah.
any of that stuff.
There's maybe one time that someone recorded a thing, and that thing was later explained in rationalization related to religion, possibly.
Yeah, I just don't think you got anything from this angle.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a new place in town we need to go visit. Oh God.
So I wanted to ask him, you have to do anything now, or you're just job's done, you're gonna just chill here? Can we help?
I will stay. I do math.
Math? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Do you need any help with anything?
Other questions?
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about fighting angels in the past? That's an ominous music change.
There goes that D20. It just because I don't want to lose this, it goes over and grabs one of the big slabs of rock and carries it back as you're asking this question, Kamal. And it kind of puts it down, so it's resting towards itself, and says, "Angels are bad story."
Can you tell us the story?
Angels are old and bright and death. And then it kind of turns the slab around to show you, and it is like it's the numbers are numbers that you would like, it's the same sort of numerical script that you would use in common. But it sure looks like it was written by somebody you can't see. And it's basic stuff like 5 times 6 kind of math. But he turns it around, and in his body language, you feel like he's almost kind of proud of it. I
Oh,
like math.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna write out like one of Hilbert's constants or something.
He would not be able to read it.
It is hard now.
But it used to be easier.
guess they mean for the eyes.
Math is hard. Thinking is hard. Twisted ones don't think. Devils think. But, and he points towards the eyes written on the walls. she and friend showed me. I can think too.
So, to the group, it sounds like twisted ones or demons are emotional, instinctual creatures.
Yes, that does sound reasonable.
And devils are logical, straight thinking.
I think it's less of that and more of where they come from does stuff to them.
I have now decided that we must protect this boy.
Um, continuing the thread of what do I know about the Abyss, what do I know about the Hells?
But like it's so tied to what you already roll. Like I think I'll just take the old roll.
Mhm.
You know more, or you've heard about the Hells more than the Abyss. The Hells are where fiends come from. That is the bad place that all bad things come from, kind of. You know, boogeymen and religion and children's stories and stuff like that.
Would it be fair to say that enough of that rhetoric shares the same kind of language as the stuff that the histories have written about red dragons that I can kind of see through the lines there?
I think it's fair to say that Rizwin might be more primed to view it that way. How true that is, mm,
Okay. So
All
she
we
will operate under that assumption then.
all we personally know is that the one time a portal was opened, they were doing a lot of damage.
And many, many, many people died.
We know that those are demons though, right? Not fiends. Do we know the difference?
so I, the DM, I know the difference, but I can't remember if I've ever told you this.
I
Or
don't
if
think
I
any of
have, where you would have learned it. Well, I know where you would have learned it. Let me look. See if I can find those notes.
I mean, if not, I'm feeling like this is where we start learning it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like Divine Sense only says celestial, undead, fiend.
Well, and just to like where I'm going with this, I'm going to ask him if the place that he's talking about, the abyss, is the same as hell, or that I'm gonna poke that thread more.
We could increment and just say, in a series of questions, we learn that now.
Okay. I am now remembering that I tried to look at this earlier and I didn't find it in my notes. But Pert may have got a sense of this from that, or sorry, Zoe may have got a sense from this from the book that Caffriel lent you.
Oh, the bestiary, for lack of a better term.
Yes. The one that coincidentally had an eye engraved on the inside back cover.
Yep, that Pert helped her trace.
Mm-hmm. Bronzer Blue doesn't necessarily understand this distinction very well. Well, okay, let's start here. The Abyss is inside the Hells.
or from a metagame perspective, is in the lower planes?
No.
It's not. No, that's not.
Throw out everything you know about D&D cosmology.
Okay,
Yeah.
done.
So for players, just for like player knowledge, just like when in Nibble's game we went to the Feywild and it was like kind of mapped onto the prime material. It was like just a different version, right? Like where we, were in an ocean. There was the ocean of trees and the Hells is the similar sort of idea. So like what he calls like the upper world or the Hells, that's like the land portion, and the Abyss is the ocean.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
So it probably takes him a couple of tries to explain that, like, no, the Abyss is like if you go that way and then down, that's the Abyss.
It's like a literal abyss in the ocean.
Mm-hmm. And the Hells is the upper part, and that's where the devils live. And they're the smart ones. And in the Abyss, which is down below, that's where the demons live. And he calls them the twisted ones.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
In normal D&D, the hells, it's because there are 10 layers of hell. Is
Nope.
there no layers here? Are there any separation of that, or it's just one land?
No. I mean, there's like different continents, right?
I think it is okay for us to say that what you would think of as the 10 layers of hell are just countries.
10 different
Oh,
regions within hell.
So we can call it the plane hell and not the
Mhm.
hells.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. As far as besides his like general separation between devils and demons, would he actually know this? I don't know that he would. Like it understands that there is like a difference. I think it might say that like they come from different places. Like devils and demons are distinct from each other, but their home, hell, has made them like the magic of hell has had a effect on everything that lives there above or below.
It's affected their evolution, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
It's twisted them. Are devils and or demons born?
Yes.
I'm asking him.
Yes, he would say yes.
What happens if they are not born there?
I do not know.
Are demons ever born? How did he say, in the upper part?
Sometimes.
Do they think?
No.
Hmm.
I do not think so.
He previously mentioned a friend that was distinct from Ayun.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask him about friend?
He says, friend, and then points to Pert's book and said, had book.
Did they have a name?
Please hold. Asarak.
Whoa.
Yeah. May I ask you to spell that, please?
I mean, don't we know him?
Okay, that's not the same.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. And from context clues, is it safe for us to assume that that was the previous owner, the immediately previous? We know that there were two owners of the book?
I'm the third researcher.
Okay. So safe to assume that this is probably the second?
That's not quite true.
Whether or not it's true, with the information that we've been given, is it safe to assume?
You could assume that, yes.
I will suggest to Pert that we ask the book more about this person later.
Yes, that's on the list of questions. Again, I am taking submissions. The list is getting long.
It says Asarak helped me come here. Talked to points at the eyes. Ayun.
Did Ayun give Asarak power?
Yes.
So it sounds like Asarak might have been their cleric, whatever the term they use.
There was friend before.
Before
No
Asarak?
name. No name.
Pert will attempt to describe what little we know about. Oh God, what's her name? The principal.
No. Not human.
What were they?
Devil.
A devil.
A devil brought a demon here? Huh.
Yes.
Asarak was devil?
Yes.
Well, makes sense. More probably.
Wait, sorry. I thought we were talking about a friend before Asarak.
Yes.
That is the devil. Asarak was also a devil.
Yes.
Okay.
No humans in Abyss. Sometimes devils, if they're stupid.
Do the devils send people down if they don't fit their needs?
Sometimes they hunt.
Hunt you?
They try.
Oh, this is literally a whole world of politics that we need to learn. Oh boy, I, I cannot even keep up with ours.
I
Does
mean, it sounds fairly brutal and straightforward to a degree.
does the book come from hell or the abyss?
Hmm.
Or here?
From Ayun.
Ayun is a god, okay, but do we know they ascended at some point? What creature were they?
I mean, we know that not just humans become gods.
Yeah, so maybe it was a fiend.
Ayun is God.
And I'm assuming Ayun is much older than our friend's memory.
How old are you, friend?
Old.
Statement. So this is we have learned some things. How we can focus this into our next step, because I don't think our next step is just go to hell and figure out.
No.
Uh the bad human who came here and hurt you, Dal. Do
Mm.
you know anything about where he went or what he wanted next? Any way of chasing him?
Let me see. What spells does this guy have? Um, it says he went away. You know what? He could actually, yeah, at some point, um, back when you were asking, like, what did this person look like? Um, it was able to like project a magical image of Dal.
Oh,
Sorry, what was the original question?
uh, does it know anything of what was their next objective, or what do they wanted, or anything to track him down?
Hmm. Demon bodies are magic. Mine is very strong, very old. Eyes are important. but hard to use.
Ooh, guys, I bet I can scry on those eyes. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna help actually.
Dal
Okay.
took them. He didn't just gouge them out to be cruel.
We've seen before where somebody had their eyes taken to use a spell.
We did?
Believe Zoe still has it. Yeah, in the tower. The
Oh, the Balgrog.
yeah.
Baldruga, sorry.
Hmm. What's our goal right now?
We have
Probably
what
to
our goals are.
track down Doll.
Yeah, I know what all of our goals are, but which one are we pursuing right now?
I thought our main objective here was to track Doll.
You know where Dal was. He was in Blackcaster. You came here because you came here to see what the fuck he was doing here that was so important. Which you've
Getting the
discovered.
eyes.
Yeah. Getting the eyes off of this thing.
I will pose a question to any of our casters. The hell could he do with the eyes?
Technically, you can make a scrying spell.
Maybe they're components for something big.
You know, like the casters know, like you can use body parts as components in either making magical potions or magical items. And the stronger the creature that it comes from, the higher potential that magical item has.
Zoe reaches into her pocket and pulls out a potion of clairvoyance with an eye floating in it.
Jamie, I'm gonna send you something. Can you tell me if this is an idea that Rizwin theoretically could have?
Okay. You can also start asking the book questions.
I actually have one more question for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
She gives a description of. I cannot remember the name of the character, which is sad. The character that misplayed in our other game, not our other game.
Cute Fey Boy.
Yeah, that doesn't limit things.
No, I know who you're talking about. Why can't I remember either? God damn it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The one we paid in.
Faye. His name was just Faye, right?
Yeah, Faye. Okay, Faye. What happened with him?
Zoe gives a description of Faye and asks if this person has ever seen them before.
Yeah, we already established that Faye has been here and was scared of the magic.
Well, my internet dropped out for a bit, so.
Okay.
I would say that Riswin could have that thought.
Okay. She will then say out loud, maybe that's how he could, whatever verb is appropriate for Rizwin to know, shoot, gun, whatever, from so far away. She is
maybe.
basically proposing that he is using the eyes as a sniper scope.
Yeah, would make sense.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, the eyes are his spotter.
I will say that you have seen him make very good shots before he would have come here to get the eyes.
We don't know when he came here, but I
You know,
guess
it
we
was
can
about 6
know it.
months ago. It was during your break.
Okay.
This creature does not seem to have a good sense of time, but you know when he came to Insane.
Yeah, because we would have found that out before even coming here.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a little self-indulgent, but Pert's first question is actually going to be to the book.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the first researcher?
Oh shit. Please hold. Oh no.
Oh, no question asked, or no something computer.
Oh no, something computer.
Oh no.
Hang on. You are asking for this book?
Yes, I'm asking the book about the first researcher.
First, okay. You're asking about the first researcher. Which is in another set of notes that I am having trouble getting to work. Okay. That's fine. I will just leave that. I don't have the name for you because it's in the notes that I can't get to open. But it does give you a date of around 750 years ago. And it says volume 1.
From all the clues that we have, are we able to determine if that is the same person or devil as the friend before Asarak?
It does not sound well. Make a
Well, I'm not reading the book, so
intelligence check. Pert can make an
Yep.
intelligence check.
I assume the first one was the the same person.
Give me notes.
Based on logical extrapolation of the information available, it appears that
Here we go. The name Grandeur Golden Mall does not sound like the name of a devil.
no implies dwarf or what do you call it? Brain turning off in middle of sentence.
Gnome.
Gnome, thank you.
Pert, you get a bit of an idea with that natural 20. To just ask it for all of the researchers.
Pert spends the next 10 minutes shaking the maracas.
What?
So,
I assume the book, not.
He might be flipping through
Surprising.
pages of the book in one hand and borrowing Zoe's spare maraca as a fidget.
given my computer problems,
Yes.
I did not have this all done.
I understand.
So, this is what I have. Volume 1 is the one that is not done.
Oh, oh crap! Oh. I was like, I don't see any. Oh, she sent me a message. Oh, okay.
So a big list of names pops up.
There's 3 other books.
Hmm.
Lovely.
So this there's wait. So this is the 4th book.
This is book 3.
So Pert is the 3rd one in the 3rd book.
No,
Here, I'll put. So I have the names for volumes 2, 3, and 4, but I don't have number 1 done.
Why volume 4? Isn't this the 3rd book? Is there a volume 4 going around without finishing the volume 3?
volume 2 is currently active. Volume 4 is not active.
Volume 1 is also not currently active.
So there are other researchers and other places.
Oh, I see a name there.
I see a couple names there.
I will just put this in here. This is from volume 1, and those are 2 names that you recognize.
I don't.
Volume 3 or 4, the first name you'll recognize.
So Saida is the person that we saw on the mural.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which
And
mirror?
Kurt would know that after all of the research that you guys did, that the first name of the principal was Arabella.
Which mural?
The mural in the Wizard's Tower, I believe. Or
No,
sorry,
the mural in the museum. This was like 3 sessions ago, maybe 4.
yeah,
There was a mural of the principal.
with her 3 assistants, handlers, subjects, question mark.
And these names were for volume 1.
Yes. Yeah, those
Wait,
last 2 are for volume 1.
wait,
And can we assume that Asarak's name shows up on volume 1 also?
No.
Hmm.
Look. Read the names. You'll see it.
Rehan Varos, Ismet, Sirin, Zura,
Oh, okay.
Asrak.
I see it. Sorry. Volume 2. Okay.
Looks like it became a bit of a family heirloom.
yeah. Wait, hold a second. Volume 4 at some point was held by 13 serpents.
I assume that's a translation of a name.
We don't
Handsome
know that.
Manus.
I also enjoy Frimpy.
I enjoy Lysandra Cato.
Oh,
That
I
has
want to,
implications.
I want to believe that just 13 serpents run an investigation.
No. I'm assuming it's like a First Nations name where it's like Morning Hawk or something like that.
I'm more interested by the fact that the Monry name changed and then went back.
Or is that a typo?
Pert, are you showing this to everyone else?
I think once he realizes there are other books, he holds on to that page and then shows it to I'm going to say Zoe specifically, but if others are looking, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we're all invested in this, so yeah.
Zoe, make a memory is a wisdom or an intelligence check.
It's a history check. Intelligence.
Yeah, make a history check.
Before you do, is there any way I can use my abilities to give Zoe advantage on that?
No,
Damn.
not for this one. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna send you a private DM.
It is interesting to see that most of them have hundreds of entries, but the previous one before paired on this book, Eldred Elemis, just did 12.
I believe that is years, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, how long ago?
So that's like it was 12 years ago, 111 years ago, 178 years ago.
A year
I will tell you this now, although I think it would take Pert a little bit of investigating to figure this out. This is the dates when the book became active with a new person. So some of these some of these big gaps are just the book waiting to find a new researcher.
Or just the researcher living a long time.
That too sometimes. But that's not
Stares
like
at volume 4. So we
Rizwin
could...
would recognize the structure of that name, I think.
Yeah, she's not saying anything. Actually, would she recognize the name? Like, not the proper name, but the family name?
Make a history check.
So
Nope.
So to understand, each of these books work similarly. Each one has different information inside of them.
I
Or
believe the information between the books is shared, but each book is being worked on in known people, known places.
So because volume 4 at the end says not currently active, does it make sense to assume that Aoife Monry, for example, is out there somewhere and we could go find them?
Presumably.
Maybe we should freaking do that. Is Saida the last entry in volume 1, or is there more?
No, there's more.
Okay.
But that also says not currently active.
Okay.
well, there must be a way to contact them. Like, can you ask?
Ask the book.
Yeah.
Are the books connected?
Can a researcher ask another researcher a question?
Yeah. Can we use message?
I know one of these people.
You do?
What? You do?
Who?
I've met the last name in the second book.
Oh.
You
Which
have?
name is that?
Aoife Monry.
We all look at Zoe.
He's a friend of my patron.
Aw.
Huh?
Outside of the game, is this the person that you met in the airship?
Yep.
Remind me what they looked like again?
Jamie, remind me what they look like.
Male, pretty nondescript, like kind of medium brown skin, darker hair, clean shaven.
I will keep the rest of my questions to myself.
Oh, I want to say that Fire asked, and then Zoe would say no, maybe. Of like, so we can go and meet them? Can we go and say hi?
Not likely. Well, effort would have to be put into finding them.
How your books work? Can you ask where this person is right now?
So yes, that was the question. Can researchers communicate through the books?
Not directly. So you can annotate the entry of another researcher.
You're waiting for them to Google themselves to find out someone left a note?
Yeah.
What if you annotated yourself instead?
You use the comment feature on Word as a chat.
I'm just thinking they're more likely to be curious about you and look you up than they would be to look at themselves.
Do researchers get a ping or some sort when someone notes on their research, like someone corrected you or something like that.
I don't think so, but I think you can also like ask the book, "Hey, what's been, written in the last 10 days?"
That's a good way to put it.
Look, show
There,
me all new entries.
yeah, there's a option to see like recent edits.
Maybe do that right now.
Checks the recent edits.
Okay. So we'll say the last 3 pages have all been about motion, like the moving pictures. And they do indeed, there's a little, watermark at the bottom that says Aoife Monry, Volume 2.
Pert.
That implies that they're here. Like, not here, but, in this region.
The last one was 10 days ago.
Just to establish, has Zoe, like, explained that she met them in the city, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, we know that they are here. Hey, Pert, can you ask the book about that name? And she points to the first one under Volume 4.
Loki? Sure. And Pert brings up the page on the researcher for Volume 4, Lokarundane?
Lokirundine.
Outside of the game, that's a dragon.
Yeah, we
I
figured
figure
that out.
out. Yeah.
Rizwan is not saying that then.
Mhm.
Although, I don't know, would the characters figure that out at this point?
Maybe, maybe not. We haven't really been exposed to many dragon names.
My name, no way. But your face, maybe.
David's very bad at name languages, so David definitely wouldn't figure it out.
So you want to know about Lokirundine?
Yeah, just like a one paragraph bio.
If there is a,
I don't know that there is a. I had to think if there would be a bio or not.
what if I phrased it as all self-referential entries on Loki Rindle?
Okay. So that's gonna take you like a couple of hours to sift through.
Yes, but
Because
that's
there's a
something I can
lot.
work on over time.
Yes.
So now at least we have that being tallied. So in the future, you can say, hey, here's your summation of what you figured out.
Okay. So yeah, that is going to take you a couple of hours to go through all of that.
I'm in a rabbit hole. Be back in a few.
What?
When a scribe gets very deep into a topic, they end up building a bit of a nest of books.
What do you guys want to do while Pert's doing this?
Stand around awkwardly.
Hey, Fire, can you help our new friend get his eye back?
Thinking about that, yes, actually. Please describe to him that I'm gonna try to pick magic to help him. Might not work, but might work.
I think Zoe has to recast her spell,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll do this.
Am I wrong, or can that not happen until next level?
I have heal.
Ah, that's not the spell I was looking at.
I was thinking lesser resurrection, one of the resurrection, not restoration spells.
I could do greater restoration, but heal also says these spells also ends blindness, deafness, and any disease affecting the target.
Yeah, but
I'm not. Yes, Jamie.
I'm just looking at spells because it ends blindness, but it doesn't grow
Yeah,
body bits back.
Yeah, that
I
would be
think what you
regeneration.
need is regeneration, which is a 7th level spell.
It stopped the blindness.
That's
It's the
not.
blind condition, not
Yeah, like
I had my eyes gouged out.
I think Fire just pulled a rules lawyer on us.
Where? Oh, there's regenerate. Severed body members, if any, are restored after 2 minutes. Yeah, I think you need regeneration. Make a wisdom check, Fire. Or I guess an arcana check, but with wisdom.
So
Because this is about your magic specifically, like what you can do.
So this is just wisdom.
You, might be able to try something with the Hydra Heart, but if it works, that Hydra Heart is done for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to try it. Like, I don't have anything, anything special for it, so make it useful. This friend is help.
Yeah, we've been carrying this thing around for a long time.
50 doses of regeneration potion or one good boy with eyes?
One good boy with eyes.
Yeah.
We will help the boy. I help the boy. I guess with my knowledge, I will start some sort of ritual involving, I don't know, heal and stuff.
Just so we're clear, we do check with them first to make sure that's okay, right?
Yes.
I mean, I started by saying I'm gonna do this. Is that I hope you're okay.
You can do that?
We're not sure. We're going to try. If you're okay with it.
Please don't have your expectations up. This is just an idea.
Then it nods, it said. Friend of Ayun.
Yeah. So,
tell me what you do.
Huh?
Tell me what you do.
I have a suggestion, Fire. And this is obviously David making a joke, but also working it into this. Fire makes a roast Hydra heart mushroom stew.
That's actually an interesting delivery method.
You know what? I'm gonna do that, but also I'm gonna request Zoe help me, like going through the motion as we are doing an enchantment. Like if we're gonna to enchant an item, but we're chanting the soup with the heart and heal and the spell heal.
And Zoe blows all her cure spells and puts them into.
Okay.
I also gonna do enhance ability first.
Okay.
From myself to wisdom.
Make
Have
a
a guidance
spell.
too.
Make a spellcasting check with advantage because of your enhance ability and Zoe's help and guidance.
and guidance. Is that just my ability without proficiency, right?
What?
It's your spell
Ability.
attack
Spellcasting.
roll with advantage and guidance.
So that would be with proficiency, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Jamie,
Mm-hmm.
can I use my hellish rebuke to heat up the food?
Sure. You can use prestidigitation for that.
I'm trying to dump spell slots into this to help give it a better chance.
Make it an advantage.
Me?
Oh, that's
That's
yeah.
the
Make your
previous one.
spellcasting check at advantage, and then add guidance.
So that's flat. And
Uh-huh.
Proficiency is +4 right now, so that's 26
yeah,
plus
26
got
guidance.
plus.
damage. I'm trying to roll. +7. Ooh, 29.
1d4 plus. Oh yeah. 29. That's pretty good.
We put a lot of communal effort in this. I want to say that the other people in the group is also helping, like, I don't know, making this
They're
too
f-
good.
They're
Jamie,
fanning the flames.
Yeah.
Jamie,
Yeah.
we're making soup.
You sure are. Um. You make Hydra heart soup
With mushrooms.
with mushrooms. It funky.
It's bubbling weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, the Hydra heart is like a rock. But
Yeah, it's like a basil leaf. Like, you don't actually eat it, it imbues the soup.
well, you hand this what I don't know where you got a container big enough, but you hand this soup over to this archdemon, and he sniffs it.
I have cooking utensils. Let's say that I have a big ass pot.
Okay, big ass pot, and he immediately grabs the Hydra heart and just chomps it in like thirds and eats it. There's a big cracking sound. He slurps up the soup. And, 20 seconds goes by. He gives a little burp. And then starts kind of rubbing his eyes. And you hear a bit of a snort. And then you see as it pulls its hands away, it blinks. And there's a little light there. And its eyes are there.
Or just smile year to year.
He lets go of the hug and goes back to the back of the cave where that little bookshelf is and gingerly picks up one of the books. The thing, like fully open, is like half the size of his palm, and with a nail, he just flips a couple of pages looking at it.
So he starts writing out basic math formulas from her studies, and unfortunately has to write them in for infernal.
What do you write them on?
Bert, give me paper.
Pert, shockingly enough, passes his notebook to her.
What?
No, Bert, just some loose leaf.
Okay, Pert takes 10 minutes out to dig through his bag to find loose leaf.
Mm-hmm.
I do technically have a, what do you call it? Choreographer's set. So there will be loose leaf in there.
Okay. Zoe starts writing out some basic math. Browser Blue comes over and looks over your shoulder, Zoe. You do math?
She gives a little nod, not wanting to say that this was stuff she did as a kid.
Yeah.
Introduce him to basic algebra.
He's at the point of adding 2 plus 3.
I think there was multiplication on the other sheet, wasn't there, Jamie?
Multiplication. Simple
That was
multiplication.
2 times. Sorry, I thought it was.
Doing his
Ooh.
5 times tables.
A equals 5 plus 6.
If you teach them what a fraction is, they can just go by themselves and learn a lot of things from there. That's Quasta saying that. Bonfire wouldn't know about that.
Fractions and Pythagorean theorem.
She's writing out everything she can A, remember, and B, can in as simple infernal as possible.
Yeah. Okay, so Zoe gives a math lesson. Pert, you gain a little bit of information about Locurandine. Nibbles, this is a copper dragon. I keep fucking this up.
Yes.
This is a copper dragon. Make me a investigation check, please.
Sure. Investigation.
Pretty good. There is a lot of talk about, or a lot written about the Feywild. It seems that this copper dragon spent at least the first 100 or 150 years of their writing in the Feywild. There's a lot there. You do find reference to their human name, or the name that they use around non-dragons is Willow.
Fascinating.
Beyond that, you see that Willow has traveled quite a bit. What else are you looking for?
Nibbles? Any other key things I should probably hunt for about Willow?
Well, you told Rizwan that she was a copper dragon, right?
Yep. Pert,
Rizwan would want to follow that. Is there more information about copper dragons in general? Specifically, are they still around?
that is definitely a different rabbit hole that will take a lot more
Oh,
digging.
Find that
copper.
within the realms of your investigation check. There are some copper dragons. It mostly seems to be like a couple of families, and they reside in the Feywild, but go traveling sometimes.
Okay.
So yes, there appears to be multiple families associated with the species.
You don't have to invent them on the spot if you don't already have them, but do these families have different family names? Jamie?
Yes, unless you object strongly to that.
No, I'm specifically trying to get Rizwan to the point where she asks if there are any other red dragon families.
I see.
I think because of this, Pert will put a pause on his current research, if that's possible with the book, Jamie. Open a new tab and just search list of known living dragons.
Well,
And if that's not possible, I totally understand. There's a lot of ways I could phrase that, so a bad
yeah,
phrasing
like
would be
the book doesn't the book can't differentiate between, like, it will just bring up dragons that it will bring up red dragons, and there's a lot about
I found I thought of a better way to phrase it anyways.
okay.
Dated entries in reverse chronological order about
Yeah,
red
there you
dragons.
go. So the most recent entries are about, what's Rizwan's father's name?
I don't think I ever actually gave him a dragon name, but Abraxas.
Abraxas is mostly about Abraxas and that war between the Platinum Army and Abraxas and all of that stuff. But
Rizwan just like scrolls down.
yeah. Farther back from that, there are entries about red dragons. This is actually not from Lokirindine. This is from 13 Serpents.
Ooh.
And there's also, like, in the same vein, there is, or in, like, the same cluster of entries, there is a bunch of stuff about what look like draconid humanoids, which you guys have never seen before, ever.
And obviously we're playing it a little fast and loose on how much Pert can look up right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say if Pert closes the current tab on the entries about the Copper Dragon Willow, I'm shortcutting because it's an easier name to say. I apologize.
That's fine.
No, that's the name that you all know her as.
If I close that tab, I cannot do a deep research like that again until I've started doing entries.
What I'm gonna say, just for, like, ease, is that after you are done with this, like, batch of research, you're gonna have to do 8 hours of entries before you can do more.
Okay.
But like, ask your questions for today's session, and we'll just call that one, just because there's a lot of little things here and there that need to be looked at.
Is Willow one of the Eris sisters, right?
Yes.
The youngest.
On the Vrogel page, she and Reed are both 2. So that's how we now know it's 750-ish years.
They, I mean, Fire wouldn't care about this, but Willow and Lysandra got the book at the same year.
Yeah.
That's let's focus on our game though. Let's.
Yeah.
Actually, if we're looking at it, all of these 3 books started at roughly the same time.
Volume 1 started around 750 years ago. It is older.
Ah.
I'm going to open it up to the group, just because there's a whole lot of weird niche things I could be pushing for. Does anyone have something I should research in the book specifically?
Not off
It's
the
a
top
lot
of my
of
head currently.
maybe there can be like in game stuff like a question and answer from in text form, because we could be here all day asking little things.
Yeah, I would allow that just for this. Like, if there's little things that people think of throughout the week.
For this week only, we can do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's fair.
With that established, then, if there's nothing pressing anyone wants to ask.
Yeah, just to close the loop on mine, and then I'll stop because I've been hogging it. Did a different family name of red dragons show up?
So there was no family name written, but it was in this entry where there were draconic humanoids that you've never seen. And so Pert at least would conclude that this is from a very, very different part of the world that you guys are not familiar with.
Okay.
So going back to the other lines of questions that we were having, did we get an answer of whether or not we can track and like how we can track and or communicate with the other owner of the book, with Ifa or Dal, like to keep us back in track? I mean,
So on the dull side of things, the book can't summon information that isn't written into it. On the other researcher, I can try leaving messages and hope that they'll notice.
I think we're gonna need to try that. So my next question would be, what now?
Nibbles just had to step away. Do we want to take a short break again, or?
Me said 2 seconds. I'm sure he'll be right back. Just looking up something here. That's interesting. Anyways,
What do we do next? Says Fire.
That's an argument. We could, well, we need to go back to the boat at some point. Uh, do we think there's anything else in these cave systems that we should look into? Is there anything in here that worries you, friend? And Pert looks up to the demon.
I have no worry.
Zoe describes the area where the cave-in was and asks if he knows what was in that area.
A I need to think for a second. Passage up.
Do you know if that goes to dry ground?
Sometimes, I think.
A
Your
look of
oceans are strange. They like to move.
Does this sound like a tide that goes in and out, or something completely oddball?
Could probably assume that he's talking about tides.
Do we have a moon?
Yeah,
Yes.
you have tides.
I just don't remember. Oh yeah, Jamie goes to the moon
Regularly.
once. Zoe gives a small nod of her head.
If there's nothing in the caves that worry you, we won't try to change or alter anything. Pert, yeah, no, I don't think there's anything drastic I want to ask right now.
I have one last question. Do you prefer to be left alone, or do you prefer if we come back to me to keep you company at some point?
You can come back. You little ones are very busy.
Does it mean
Lot of excite.
he means it in a sense like we're a lot and we're fun?
or we're young and short-lived and lots of energy, so we do things really quickly because we have such short lives.
Mm, I mean, you could roll an insight, but
I
it's
can do
more in the
that.
second.
I can do that. No advantage. No pass without a trace.
You get the sense that this creature just maybe doesn't experience the world the same way you do.
Which
Like
means
he talks about time very differently. Um and he didn't ever seem terribly bothered about being hurt or terribly disturbed by it. Even if he is very happy to have his eyes back. He just seems pretty laissez-faire.
hmm. Well, we might come back at some point.
So, this is one that Jamie will probably be able to say no to instantly. But travel via plants says a large or larger inanimate plant. I know funguses are not plants.
That's correct.
What about algae?
Seaweed is a plant. Algae is an animal.
Algae's a photosynthesizing protist, I think.
Yeah, but I think Birdman's seaweed.
Well,
Oh
no,
my god.
I said algae specifically because we could spread a specific species of algae on the wall, and then we could just travel via plants to say hi. But
I think it has to be one
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah. Were there big algae on the outside in the sea?
Mm, not where you were, I don't think.
because we can't just plant a tree here.
Imagine transport via plants from a normal tree and you connect it to the bottom of the ocean and all the water came out.
Nibbles has a terrible idea.
Oh my god! No, wait,
Yeah.
that's the wrong order of time.
There's a whole friggin' island of trees above us.
There's
That's
reason
a
to say that.
terrible idea.
Yeah, sure, Rizman says that.
Oh, great idea. Let's find one of those there and we can come back here when we need it.
Yeah, because Rizwan is under the impression that these are just spooky nonsense stories. So, yeah, let's go on the island.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, Pert's both under the same impression and yet also assumes that there's a logical explanation for said spooky nonsense stories. And if that's that there's 40-foot tall walking trees, okay, well, that's still an answer.
Well, there's 40-foot tall walking trees. We've got a druid.
Okay, so that's immediately next goal. And
Yeah.
then what?
Well, we have a lot of questions for outside of this country, but other than coming back here at another point, do we have any goals here other than trying to hunt down Dahl if he's still here?
No, I think we need to just forge on with our other tasks. We've got the information we need from here.
Dahl is not here.
We know Dal is not
Unless
here.
he followed you here.
Not here. I meant on the island chain.
No, he's not even on the island chain. He's on the continent. Last we knew. We have no indication to believe that he's anywhere near here.
Okay. So, Jamie, just to check, in the time since Fiasco, we definitely know Dahl has left the islands?
Yes.
Okay.
Fiasco was 6 months ago.
We got hit by his sniper abilities on Blackcaster like a couple weeks ago.
And we killed him a couple weeks ago.
That was
No.
That was Ezra.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
The Fiasco game was 6 months ago, game time wise.
Okay.
yes.
The stuff that happened in Blackcaster was 2 weeks ago, game time wise.
Thank you very much. Some days it's hard to remember timelines. I appreciate it.
So if we need to go back to this island that I don't remember the name,
We should
Where the-
definitely at least go to the surface and check trees. Yes, you are absolutely
no,
right.
but I mean, if we need to go back to that island, we go with the sailors and they ferry us back there. If we need,
You're talking about where we came from with Innocent.
yes, listen. If we need to go somewhere else, we might just tell them to go home after they left us in the trees island, and we get the trees somewhere else or wherever we need to go.
I think we should still check back in with them just to see if there's anything else that we should try to recover from the ocean besides what we already got.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm trying to get what our next destination is.
We can keep going east.
That is another pressing question, yes.
So let's recapitulate everything that we have on our plate. We can keep going east. There is Magublet waiting us in the Wi-Fi Islands.
Oh, Jamie, could we see the world map again?
There is the Elven Kingdoms apparently going at a war if we want to get involved somehow there. Do we need to do anything in Blackcaster or Carcamont?
No.
Kashaba.
Specifically for Blackcaster, we need to not be there for a while.
Okay, yes, you're right.
At some point, we need to look into Bashaba, but that's not a today thing.
I would suggest going to Rogel.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the two pressing issues are either chasing down Dal, which is west, or chasing down Kamel's god, which is east, probably.
And Aquilonia.
When the book said, what did the book tell Pert before it burned itself up? Come and find me? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. But it didn't give any indication as to where one might do that?
That's correct.
Or even who the hell me is? Or can we pretty safely assume from context clues that that is Ayun?
You can pretty safely assume.
Okay.
Wait,
So-
so
3 things, 2 of them have a direction.
which one? Dal is. Do we know where to follow Dal?
We
Nope.
would pick up the trail back west somewhere.
Like we will need to go and investigate in Blackcaster, and that's not a good idea right now.
I think being far away from the continent right now is a good idea.
Yes. We also
Okay.
do have Zoe's unknown teleportation circle if we ever want to look into that.
If we ever feel like feisty.
Gambling.
Yeah.
Gambling, I'm in.
I say we go
So
to Rogel.
I asked Camille then, how do we get to Rogel?
We hire another ship.
Where from? From here, or we need to go to another
From
port?
one of the 3 cities here.
Okay, so let's get the tree and then go to NSN and figure out how to get to Froggle. Sounds good?
Sure.
And we will return with the.
Yeah, do we just want to hand wave doing a bit more scavenging?
Well, I think we can talk to them and see what's up.
Yeah.
Talk to
Oh
who?
yeah, we need to go.
The bulls.
Mm.
We need to go back to Innocent because I need to. Oh no, I know a tree. I know a tree in Innocent.
Yeah.
Mail has an appointment in Insane.
Yep.
Also that.
What? My appointment. Oh jeez.
Oh yeah, you also have an appointment.
That didn't have a specific time though, so that's fine.
Yeah, but while we're waiting for Kamel's appointment, Fire can visit his new friend.
Also, to remind you, Jamie, Rizwin had already obtained the information about Dal's competition, but you were gonna come up with that at some point, so just a
Oh,
reminder on that.
yeah, I need you to remind me outside a game.
I need to remember outside of games, so.
Would you mind your of a moment minding things?
Yeah.
Um, Zoe would like to ask our friend here if she may look around at his books.
This is when you ask this, like this is kind of the first time you've seen him be not open and amenable to you. Like he almost kind of holds his books like close to his chest.
She won't push the subject. If he seems defensive, she'll nod and say, I understand.
He keeps the book that he's holding pressed against his chest.
Oh, 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 oh. Let me look at my item list. We can pretty completely say that Pert has translated both the Book of Undercommon and the Book of Infernal and knows basically everything from both books, right?
Where did these come from?
They were both from the library when we left the underground.
Was in the Infernal book. I'll have to look. I feel like you could have definitely had them translated. I don't think you have them memorized.
I mean, memorized isn't the important part, just, the key points from them. Because, in theory, Pert can offer at least one, if not both of them, to him as a gift.
Okay.
Depending on whether he has any interest in the Undercommon.
I mean, he will. Yeah, he will gladly take both of them.
And then Pert will spend like 40 minutes writing out the very basics of algebra. 3 plus a equals 8. And then does the steps to show how to solve it.
Okay.
And he'll pass
it
that paperwork to him as well.
It kind of sounds to me like you're taking a long rest down here.
No.
Or I guess at least a short rest.
I think we have spent enough time to be considered short rest, but I don't want a long rest because they're waiting for us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If I recall, we told them 24 hours, right?
Yeah, you have already had one long rest here.
Yeah, so we should probably start heading back soon. Unless anyone has any reason not to.
No, I think we should.
All right. Pert will gift him the 2 books, as well as the basics of algebra write up he does really quickly.
Okay.
And Pert will give him a thank you for keeping Ioun's knowledge for us. If we return, do you want us to tell you before we come, or to just show up with more gifts?
I will know
Okay.
when you are close.
Then, unless anyone else has,
In my home.
any other suggestions, I think we go back into the water.
Yee.
Okay. You all filter back into the pond. And Fraser Blue just sits on the edge of the water and watches you go.
Bye, friend.
He mimics your wave. And you head back out to where you left the boat, back through the cavern. Back into the other underwater passage. Out and up. And you surface and you see the ugly little ship covered in metal, anchored a few 100 feet away.
I think
Hey,
Holy shit, you're back. Oh,
Hello.
I totally forgot that they have an accent.
Nah, what you talking about? They always talked like that.
Hey, I'm swimming here.
One of them throws you a rope to help you get back on.
how far away are we from the shore?
A good, like, 600 or 700 feet.
Okay. I'll just say we need like 1 more hour.
I can just go and fly by and then come back.
What's another hour? Yeah, that's fine. You want some towels? We got some towels. Not enough for all of you.
Oh, we're gonna swim to the shore for a minute.
Swim,
You what?
please.
And she
So,
just turns around and starts going.
Before Risbon takes off, Jamie, just to double check, this is their territory for shipping, but the island is not their territory, right?
Correct. Did they have this shipping lane claimed?
So-
Nobody goes on the island because it's fucking dangerous.
Yeah. Pert will let Rizwin get ahead because he can catch up easily.
No, wait. Before Rizwin goes, we're not swimming there. That's tiresome. And I cast Water Walk on everyone.
Yeah, that works.
Do the guys respawn to that when we just start walking on top of the water?
Yeah, you hear one of them go, fucking fuck. Holy fuck.
So we're going back.
Language.
We're gonna do a little stroll. Hold on a second.
Was there anything else, based on what I found, what I delivered earlier, is there anything else you think there might be down there, or is that the majority of what you were missing?
Down where?
The boxes I brought up earlier and gave to you.
Oh! That's Pert. I thought you were saying that was David.
Sorry, I apologize.
Look, we've lost a few ships out here. Like, anything we can recover is great. Is there more down there? Probably, but it's also probably broken.
There was 3 or 4 other boxes that were broken and no contents remained. This was the only ship in this area, so I didn't know if you had a rough manifest or not.
Nah.
I will go with the others then, and since Pert's faster, he will catch up relatively quickly, whether he gets out of the water or not.
Okay. So, you make it to shore. And there is, like, a length of beach, and then the forest starts pretty immediately. It's very thick. The trees are very big, and you don't have to go in very far. Basically, you don't have to go in at all to find a tree that's big enough for you guys.
This one will do. Hello, friend. You're gonna be a path. But later, not right now. Toodaloo.
Can I do a nature check just to get an idea of if there's any signs of something that proves the rumors?
That would be a survival check, but sure.
Sure, survival. I'm also good at that.
You do hear something relatively large rustling in the forest, but it's too deep in for you to see what it is.
And there's no 4-foot wide bear scratchings on a tree within 5 feet of me.
That you can see, but also like you hear birds. You hear some squirrels chittering.
So there's general life around here. Cool.
Yes. There's maybe some like scratches and broken branches and stuff. Nothing that like strikes you as, oh, that's a really, really big animal that's been through here. But you do hear something moving around in the forest. And also there's like, you basically just walked up a beach.
Yep.
So nothing lives on the beach. Beach seems to be okay.
Beach is relatively safe for short periods.
I mean, there's noises in the forest. Who wants to go see what they are?
No.
Come on, poke the bear.
Literally?
Rizrin wants a live snack.
Rizwan doesn't want to. Nibbles wants to.
Rizrin wants a live snack.
Pert leans over and pokes fire.
Fine, let's go.
Alright. You walk back to the boat. And with everyone safely in tow, it begins the long journey back towards Innisane. So we're going to stop here tonight. Pert, you have like 3 days with that book. So go nuts.
Yep. I think I'll start with a detailed breakdown on the Hellhound head.
Okay.
That should take a good 8 hours on its own.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever seen a book just be like, dude, that's enough?
Shut up.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of their culture he can extrapolate. He only knows that they were used as / worked with demons as an assault troop. That doesn't tell you much about a culture of a species.
I think I'm just
Hmm?
I think that was someone's YouTube in the background.
No, that's me.
Um, Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay. So yeah, anything that. Actually, David, where's your big list of questions? Is it in game stuff? No.
There's one in game stuffs and there's one in our private message, so it's the
Oh, is
same
there?
list either way, basically. And I need to rephrase a lot of them anyways, so.
Yeah, I don't see it in game stuff.
Yeah, no, I think I deleted it from game stuff and moved it to our private conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to start? Like, we can knock off a few
I guess what
things
we
on
could
this list.
start with, since it's related to what we were talking about earlier, collated information on dragons would be a longer one he'd probably spend a lot of time poking at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a long subject, I'm sure, depending on how many times researchers have ran into dragons. Since one of the researchers was a dragon, that might have happened a couple of times.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you give Pert a Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Now you need to write Wikipedia.
She was saying she had too much free time.
Just for my own sanity, it would
Yep.
be really appreciated if somebody could keep this in notes.
I think maybe I should start a new, different document.
Because it is, like I've said in the past, I know how the things work, but it is not always easy for me to remember what I have and have not told you.
Yes. And
What,
that can be a
is
challenge
this
someday.
book called?
Book of Ioun, maybe? The book specifically?
Repository of Ioun.
Yeah. This is Repository Volume 3.
It's all, so the volumes refer to the physical book that you have. It's all one.
Yeah, one collective knowledge.
Yes.
Four
3
separate
just
books.
denotes like what book you are, what book this person is holding.
Actually, I'm not going to do a Word document. I'm going to do a OneNote.
Are we basically done, guys? Or
Yes, we are done.
okay? 'Cause I
Did
have
we
to-
level up?
No worries. You did not level up.
All right, I'll
Good
catch you
night.
guys later. I gotta go make a couple calls.
Have
Okay.
a good one.
Bye.
Take
Have a
care.
good one.
Now.
Bye bye.
Bye.